Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got to break down all of the new content in NHL 21. We got some new NHL moments. We got some new prime times that actually bumped up one of the Team of the Year cards. So we'll break all that down as usual. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for daily NHL content. And if any one of you guys were here for my 24-hour stream the other night, man, I thank you for hanging out. It was a long one, but fun regardless. Anyways, guys, let's get into today's video. All right, we'll start first with the NHL Moments cards today, and we got the 88 Sam Gagner. I remember this way back and when he was an Oiler, and one of the craziest games in terms of just like random regular season ones that I can remember when I was a kid or a teenager, I guess, was the 8-point game from Sam Gagner. Just absolutely nuts. Yeah, it was good to see him get recognized as a moment because this was a true moment. So he gets 2 to Distributor and 2 to Magician. Honestly, I would love to see Sam Gagner be a little bit faster, just because I believe he was a decent skater, and only 88 speed with the Distributor. I will say this, he gives you 2 to Distributor, which does help out, so it's not like it's completely useless. Only 90, around high 80s, low 90s shot as well. And then defensively, he's not very good, 86 defensive awareness. I will say this, that with Magician activated, his deking, puck control, and agility is all really, really, really high, almost maxed, and that could definitely have you be able to deke and L2 and spin like that really, really smooth. But other than like the synergy boost that you get from him, I'm not super interested in this card because he just doesn't do anything exceptional. It's just everything really average. We'll take a look at his cost right now, what he's going for in the auction house. 2 up, 148. There's no chance, even for the 2 to Distributor. This is like a 100,000 coin card in terms of value right now at most. So hard pass on that. Then we got the 92 Jason Arnott, 6'5", 220 with 2 to Barrage and 2 to Speedster. That's a solid synergy combination. And with Distributor, you can get him up to 89 speed, which is faster than Sam Gagner, which is nuts. And he's 6'5". So if you have Spark on this card and he gets his acceleration to 84, his faceoffs at 92. I've said this all season long. This game, you don't really need to have super fast centers because the way you break the puck out, if it is through your centerman, should be a little bit slower east to west, and he's not going to get bumped off the puck. I mean, 93 puck control and 95 balance on a 6'5" guy. This is a fantastic card. Like, a lot like what I talked about when the Eric Lindros came out, the 93. This is a lot like the same concepts, and I love his synergy combination. So this could be a really, really useful card. I have a feeling he's going to be expensive, but we'll take a look. 400. Yeah, he's going to be expensive. And something I want to touch on, guys, that hasn't been mentioned a lot. There's cards every event that I mentioned that will go up or are super important if you're looking to build a competitive team. And it usually ends up being the bigger guys because speed isn't as important to the giant players because, again, the ones that are really good with those cards are able to use them. And, I'll use Dougie Hamilton as an example. I've said that card was one of the best, when it came out, and an important card to go out and get. And he's not all that fast, and he's still going for like 800K. He went up in price. So it doesn't really surprise me, but I just want to touch on that for you guys for future reference when an event comes out with these really big guys. I hope he falls a little bit because it is a little pricey for the stage of the game we're at now. But 300, I would pull the trigger on this card. All right, now moving on to today's prime times. Man, Kyrou absolutely shreds my Sharks. 1 to Howitzer, 1 to Thief. Thief doesn't really do much for this card, just because it doesn't give him enough face-off rating to use. But 90 speed before Distributor, 91 acceleration with Spark, and then a shot, 97 power with Howitzer activated. This is a really nice card for anyone that's still using, like, the base Connor McDavid or those kinds of players. Even the base Stamkos. There's been some talk about, like, what do we do after Stamkos, after base McDavid? I might make a video on it, but this would be the type of card. Like, it's a really, really good option and one that you should look at for anyone that's got a base card team. Then we've got the 88 David Perron, again, 1 to passing playmaker, 1 to wingman. Not a fan of passing playmaker. In my opinion, it's one of just the worst stats because it's so all over the place. It doesn't really help with anything specifically, and a lot of players have really high stick checking already. And passing, again, I find that passing does the stat itself. I don't find it after 80, because in NHL 20 we actually tested it. Anything over 80 passing will self-sauce. Like, it'll auto-sauce. So, those passes that you see people make or that you make, you didn't sauce it, but it's a perfect tape-to-tape one. That's because he's got over 80 passing. And regardless, so wingman is an important stat or an attribute, especially on this card because he can get his acceleration up higher, but he's only got 88 speed with distributor, and his shot is under 90. So, in my opinion, this would be a pass. They're both righties. I would definitely take the 88 Kyrou over Perron. Moving on, we've got the 91 Jake Guentzel, one to light the lamp and one to workhorse. Workhorse, one of my favorite centers just because of all the things that it increases except for durability. But the acceleration, balance, and endurance I do like as a combo. Light the lamp gets his balance up really high. Speed can get to 92, acceleration to 95, which is great. And then his shot is all in the mid-90s. This is a really, really nice card. And again, when I was talking about earlier about how, what's the replacements of one like base McDavid and whatnot, this could be an option to replace McDavid because his shot is much better. His speed is a little bit slower still, but his skating all the way around is pretty good. And then defensively, he's much better. We'll take a look at what he's going for in the auction house right now. It's probably kind of expensive, but 100K? Wow, there is no chance. 275. Out of your mind. 100K to 150 would be where I would go. Man, you can get the 88 franchise great haul for like a third, not even a third of that price. Unbelievable. Moving on, we've got the 92 Thomas Tatar, 5'10 with Magician and Gladiator. And his body checking is already kind of high. Like, he is a little bit smaller, but with Gladiator on, his body checking and strength is good, so it makes up for the fact that he's a bit shorter. 93 speed, 94 acceleration, his shot in the mid-90s, his hand stats are great. This is a really nice card, and good defensively if you can get those synergies activated. That's going to be kind of the dependent there. There's... Dude, how is Guentzel so much more expensive? That blows my mind. Yeah, like 150K, if he falls to that, that's a nice value. Even 175 is not terrible. Next up, we've got the 94 Steven Stamkos, one to Swarm, one to Passing Playmaker. Passing Playmaker, in this sense, like I said, it's not super important, but it does get his slap shot accuracy and stick checking to 99. Which is obviously nice, but again, not super important. Swarm is nice to have. It's one of those team-based synergies that you want at some point. 96 speed with distributor, 97 with acceleration is a top-end card. Like, you could get this card and not have to replace the Stamkos for the rest of the game. I talk about this a lot, like end-game cards. I'll take a look in the auction house right now. That's super expensive. But 500K roughly, like 5 to 550. Again, you won't have to ever replace this card. I will say this though, the 93 Master Set Stamkos, check that price because the synergies on that card are phenomenal. And again, that's a card, in my opinion, you do not have to improve upon for the rest of the game and you'll be fine. Then lastly, we got the 94 Kale Makar with Balanced and Shutdown. Again, Balance is only going to be usable for some players. But Shutdown is pretty easily activated. He's got max speed, max acceleration with synergies. His shot is almost up there as well. Hand stats are almost 99. This is an endgame card as well. With Shutdown, I think this card does need Shutdown though, just because again, he's under 6 foot. So if you can get that activated, that's a plus. Obviously, everyone that has the 94 Kale Makar, 2 to Balance, 2 to Barrage, 2 to Gladiator, that is now increased. So if you got the Kale, the 94, the 90, the Team of the Year Makar, now you've got the 94 version, and obviously that's a top end card. But this 94, really, really good option here. I'm curious to see what he is because he has the Team of the Year, so it's not as 700K, man. That's expensive. I would much rather have Hamilton than this card in terms of defense, but I would wait for him to fall a little bit more. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's content. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Give the video a like if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, fellas.